I just walked out of a home inspection where one issue, just one, could have cost my buyers almost $30,000 to repair. And the scary part, this isn't unusual here in the Pacific Northwest. With our constant rain, older homes, moisture-heavy climate, and tricky soil conditions, these major problems are showing up more often, and many buyers don't see them until after closing. So today I'm breaking down 10 massive home inspection deal breakers that should make you stop and seriously reconsider moving forward if the seller refuses to fix them. Let's get right into it. Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Singh, your guide to navigating real estate with clarity, confidence, and zero sugarcoating. If you have watched my videos before, you probably know I want you going into a home purchase fully informed, not stressed, not guessing, and definitely not blindsided by issues that could have been avoided. And when it comes to home inspections, there are little things and then there are deal breakers. The deal breakers are the big ticket items that can drain your savings, impact your safety, or turn your dream house into long-term financial burden, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, where moisture, aging infrastructure, and soil movement creates a very unique set of challenges. So today we are diving into 10 biggest home inspection deal breakers every buyer needs to understand before they commit to a home. Alright, let's jump right into it. First and foremost, major foundation problems. This is one of the biggest, most expensive issue a buyer can face. Signs include horizontal cracks, stair-step cracks in block walls, bowing or bulging walls, sloping floors, doors that don't align. Here in our rainy climate, saturated soil pushes right against foundation, making these problems more common. A buyer walked away from a home in North Seattle after we discovered a long horizontal crack caused by a soil pressure. Contractor estimate $40,000 to $60,000. If seller won't repair with a licensed structural engineer, that's a hard deal breaker. Number 2, a roof at the end of its life. Even if there are no active leaks, insurance companies here have been tightening their requirements. Many are refusing coverage for roofs past a certain age. Typical replacement cost of a roof, $12,000 to $30,000 and plus. If the roof is getting old and the seller won't offer a credit or replacement, that should give you a serious pause. Failing HVAC, furnace, or heat pump. Older symptoms may work, but they often rust out, leak, fall efficiency tests, spread mold through ducting, struggle in our dump climate. Replacement of these systems can run up to $8,000 to $15,000. If the inspector or HVAC pro says it's near failure, it should be a deal breaker unless the seller steps up. Unsafe or outdated electrical panels. Electrical issues aren't just inconvenient, they are dangerous. Certain older panel types include brands like Federal Pacific, FPE, and Zinsco have long been associated with breaker failures and increased fire risk. Because of these concerns, many insurance companies may flag them during underwriting and require an upgrade before issuing or renewing a policy. Many insurers simply will not cover homes with them. Replacing an outdated panel typically costs $2,500 to $5,000, and if the entire home needs rewiring, that number can climb really fast, $10,000 to $20,000 plus dollars. If an inspection reveals an unsafe electrical setup and the seller isn't willing to address it properly, that's usually a sign to move on. Sewer line damage. Sewer line problems are one of the most common and most expensive issues we see across Western Washington, especially in older neighborhoods in places like Seattle, Bellevue, Redmond, and Edmond. Our moist soil makes it easy for tree roots to invade older clay or concrete pipes. Over time, these pipes can crack, collapse, or sag, leading to recurring backups and serious drainage issues. Common warning signs include slow or gurgling drain, sewage odor, backup in tubs, toilets, or basement drains, soft or sunken patches in the yard. Repair or full replacement often range from $10,000 to $30,000 plus, depending on the depth, length, and whether the line runs under driveway or sidewalks. If the sewer scope reveals major damage and the seller isn't willing to address, that is a deal breaker. Mold and water intrusion. This one is huge in our climate. Places to check: crawl space, basements, attics, behind insulation, under windows, around chimneys. If the problem is widespread or active, it means structural risk, air quality problems, recurring repairs, expensive remediation. At 7th spot, active termites or carpenter ant damage. Wood destroying insects like carpenter ants, and in some areas termites can cause serious structural damages, especially in neighborhoods with dense tree cover or older wooden framings such as Tacoma, Puyallup, Olympia, and parts of Everett. If an inspector finds termite tubes or frass, carpenter ant galleries inside beams, damage to joists, posts, or rim boards, soft or decaying structural wood, that is a major red flag. The challenge is that these insects often work behind walls, in crawl spaces, or in moisture-heavy areas. So what you see during inspection may only be a fraction of real damage. Full repairs can easily reach tens of thousands of dollars. Unless the infestation is completely treated and the structural damage professionally repaired, do not proceed. Asbestos or high radon levels, when not addressed. Many homes built before the 1980s contain asbestos in floor tiles, ceiling texture, duct insulation, vermiculite attic insulation. Asbestos remediation can range from $3,000 to $25,000 and plus. Radon is less common on the west side of the Cascades, but still present in certain pockets. Mitigation $1,500 to $3,000. Assess your risk before making your move. Buried or decommissioned oil tanks. Buried oil tanks are surprisingly common in many of our older neighborhoods, especially areas with mid-century or pre-1970 homes. In places like Ballard, Wellingford, Greenwood, Finney Ridge, Shoreline, Lake Forest Park, Edmonds, North Tacoma, and even in some older pockets of Bellevue, such as Bridle Trails and Newport Hills. Before natural gas became widely available, oil heat was standard, and when homes converted, many tanks were simply abandoned in places. The concern is that older steel tanks can leak over time, contaminating soil and groundwater. Cleanup costs for a leaking tank can range dramatically from $10,000 to over $100,000, depending on the extent of contamination. If a seller refuses to remove a buried tank and cannot provide a clean soil test, just walk away. Failed septic system. Septic systems are common in many parts of our regions, especially in areas like Woodinville, Snohomish, Maple Valley, Fall City, Kitsap County, and the more rural pockets of Pierce and King County. While septic is perfectly normal, a failing system is one of the most expensive and disruptive issues a buyer can inherit. Common signs of trouble include standing water or pooling near the drain field, slow drains or frequent backups, gurgling sound in toilets or tubs, strong sewage odor in the yard, soft, spongy or perpetually soggy soil above the system. A full replacement typically costs $25,000 to $40,000 and plus, depending on site condition and system type, and that is assuming you have space and soil conditions suitable for a new system. Local reporting from King 5 has highlighted just how widespread septic failures are across the Puget Sound region, particularly as older systems reach the end of their lifespan. If an inspection shows the septic system has failed and the seller isn't willing to repair or replace it, that should be a firm deal breaker. So these are the 10 massive home inspection deal breakers every buyer should understand before committing to a home. Trust me, none of these are small fixes. None of these should be ignored, and none of these should be brushed aside because a home looks cute or the market feels competitive. You deserve a home that is safe, healthy, and financially sustainable, not the one that becomes a stress-filled project the moment you moved in. If you want representation that puts your safety and long-term value first, I'm here for you. Feel free to reach out anytime. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment checklist if you want a downloadable version of these 10 deal breakers. I'm Neelam Singh. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.